Alright, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Harakakutash, the balanas unto the apostles and the elders and great men that truly do well. Peace and blessings unto the Arkham, through the four corners of the earth, that pushes word and truth and with all sincerity. With all the legends, this is Martin F. I'm sure that campus coming through the Spirit and the power of the Lord to do our video, to edify the saints and to exhort the brothers, to keep pushing and to keep holding firm and rooted and grounded in the ministry. And I just want to do a video here based on this article here from RT News entitled COVID expert Fauci says pandemics worse yet to come. Understand? And I put in brackets yet again, so meaning he said it before and he's saying it again. COVID expert Fauci says pandemics worse yet to come. And if you look up the word expert, you would see specialist. But let's go a little bit more into it. That coming with the definition. Expert, a person who is very knowledgeable about or skillful in a particular area, having or involving a great deal of knowledge or skill in a particular area. It says from Latin expertus, past participle of experire, which means to try. It says the noun used dates from the early 19th century, compare with experience and experiment. So in other words, they basically had simulations of this virus before. So they experimented it before, or they ran computerized simulations before on how it would affect, the population, how it would affect people, what it would have done to businesses. So in other words, he actually has a great deal of knowledge about the COVID-19. So yes, he could say worse is yet to come. Understand? Because they already know it was a planned demic instead of a pandemic, meaning they already planned what they were about to do. Understand? It says infectious diseases expert Dr. Anthony Fauci has warned Americans that the worst ravages of the coronavirus pandemic are yet to come. But the government physician's proclamation is not his first doom-laden prediction. Understand? And while this is the next thing, proven that they are hypocrites, while everybody accept what he says, they disregard or they decline or they refuse to hearken to what we say, because for a number of years we've been saying that they're gonna have plagues to come, diseases to come, martial law, all these things. But what the people refuse to hear what we had to say. Now the government officials, namely the president or the senators or the officers, coming out and saying that they're gonna have lockdowns and they're not gonna be able to travel and not gonna be able to go from city to city and they're not gonna be able to come outside, and the worst is yet to come, and a lot of people are gonna die from COVID-19. They accept it, and that is in the scriptures, namely Sirach 13 and verse 22. It says, when a rich man is fallen, he hath many helpers. He speaketh things not to be spoken, and yet men justify him. The so-called white man is number one racist upon the face of the earth. And yet, when he speak it, he get justified. When they go on the murder, the mass shootings in churches, in cinemas, in mosques, they get justified. What they say? They say he have mental conditions. He's mentally unstable. But when Jake do similar crimes, what they say? They start to blame their parents and their background and where they grew up from and lack of education and lack of, being civilized and all these different fucking things, to demonize Jake. But we all know that the plan is always against Jacob, to eliminate him. Whatever means possible they could use, they will try to eliminate us. They'll try to do all sorts of things to do what? Take us out of the equation, and that is what this COVID-19 is about. To bring the new world order, or the one world order, to depopularize the earth, to remove Jacob from the world's population, to remove the middle class, to have a big division or a big select, a big gap in between the rich and the poor, and to have the poor as robot slaves. They say robot slave because they plan to part ship and you plan to make it like a computer to do exactly what they say, to follow all the orders that are being given, which is like a computer or a robot, you understand? It says, and yet they rebuked him too, and he spake wise. It says the poor man slipped, and yet they rebuked him too. He spake wisely and could have no place, and that is speaking exactly about us. We will speak these things, and people will say, why didn't get these men off the streets? Why? Because we don't have expert in front of our name, or we don't have a doctor in front of our name, or we don't have professor, in front of our names. We don't have pastor or reverend in front of our names. We don't have these worldly, titles and, infamous ranks. Understand? It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue. And look what he said. And look what he said, they extol it to the clouds. Understand? They say, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Understand? So they will extol what he said to the clouds. They will say, yeah, this thing real. But we always knew it was real. No matter of fact, this pandemic is not as real as they say it is, compared to the true plays that coming. But we know is that it have a lot worse to come. The plagues that are to come gonna be, worse than what they're trying to make this COVID-19 look like. The plagues are the most have no so-called vaccine or no mask that could prevent you from, contracting it or to save you from it. It says Psalm 74 verse 23. It says, forget not the voice of thine enemies, the tumult of those that rise up against thee, increase it continually. Look about tumult. So like, look it up in the blue letter. Tumult. I think it's Shawan. Says uproar. Says by implication, destruction, horrible noise, pumping, rushing, tumult. Whoops. Noise. It says from the root Sha'a. It says to be willing to crash, to cause the crash, make it then or crash to waste. It says the tumult of those that rise up against the increase it continually. So they will continue to destroy you. They will continue to seek to find occasion to get rid of you. And as they say, never let a good crisis go to waste. So they find an opportunity to get rid of you. So expect the destruction to come. Expect them to suck all the money out there bags. Though you jigs that think that you made it, that's why your bank account gonna be filled with zeros just now. All you business owners that think you can stunt and jig and say these niggas ain't good for nothing and they went to school and they get a degree just now, you're gonna be on the breadline as well, because they don't care about you. They used you. They used you against your own brother. And they will continue. They will continue to use you until they had enough of you. But let's get this Psalms 2 verse 1. It says, "Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel against Yahweh and against his anointed." So what they're doing, taking counsel against you and against the Most High. So they're taking counsel against the Most High. Imagine what I have planned for you. They plan to totally exterminate you. They plan to totally annihilate you. They plan to fight against the Most High. So you think that you could survive in their eyesight? No. Esau will drown you out with destruction. Understand? And when Jacob's trouble come, a lot of you Jake's gonna realize what we've been saying all along, that the so-called white man is indeed the devil. Understand? Gotta take counsel against you, take counsel against your Heavenly Father, take counsel against your woman, take counsel against your children. It says, "Let us break their bonds asunder and cast away their cords from us." So they don't have any good intentions for you Israelites. So stop believing in Egypt, stop believing in Babylon, stop setting your hopes in Babylon. Understand? So with that, I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone that surely do well. Peace and blessings unto the elect. I push this word day and day until next time. I want to say shalom.